everyone, Ashlyn here with Minister for Happiness, and welcome to this week's story time. I hope you're having a super Sunday so far, and as always I'd like to start by saying well done for giving yourself the time and space to listen to a nice story that may impart a life lesson that you can take into the future with you. And today's story is one that I haven't actually told in a long time, and it's, as far as I know, written by Paulo Coelho. It's in one of his books, and it's the story of a fisherman and a businessman. And the story goes that a businessman in a small Brazilian village was sitting on a bench one day looking out to sea, and he noticed a fisherman coming in to shore, and the fisherman had quite a few large fish. And as he approached, the businessman said to him, "Do you mind if I ask, how long did it take you to catch those fish?" The fisherman said, "Oh, just a few hours." He said, "I was out early this morning." And the businessman was quite impressed. He said, "And why don't you catch more?" And the fisherman said, "Well, it's enough to feed my family and enough for me to sell that I have made my money for the day." The businessman was intrigued, and he asked the fisherman, he said, "What else do you do for the day after you've caught all the fish and you go home? What do you do with the rest of your day?" And the fisherman said, "Well, usually I get up early in the morning, I come out in my boat, I catch my few fish. I'm usually home early enough that I can play with my kids for a while. In the afternoon, myself and my wife take a nap. And then late in the evening, I meet my friends in the local village and we play guitar and drink some beers." Pretty good life. So the businessman said, "Oh, that's interesting," he said. "May I offer you a suggestion?" He said. "I'm a businessman and I have a PhD in business management," he said. "And if you just spent a little bit longer out at sea and caught more fish," he said, "you'd make more money." And he said, "And then you'd be able to maybe hire more people to fish with you. Eventually maybe have more boats and have another crew or two catch larger amounts of fish." And then the fisherman asked the businessman, he said, "Oh, that's interesting," he said. "And what then?" And the businessman said, "Oh, well, once you build a bigger fleet of ships and, boats, and you have more crew, then you could maybe look at, starting your own distribution company, maybe, tinning and packaging your own fish, and you could go from there." And the fisherman said, "Oh, interesting. And what then?" And the businessman, "Well, then," said, you could exchange your business. You could go to the stock market and, people could buy shares in your company on the stock exchange." And he said, "And then you could buy yourself a big house and, you could maybe sell your business and you could retire." And the fisherman said, "Oh, that's interesting," he said. "And what then?" And the businessman said, well, then you could retire and you could get up in the morning and do what you wanted all day and maybe, spend time with your family and relax and enjoy the fruits of your labor and, take a nap in the middle of the day with your wife and maybe go meet your friends in the evening for some drinks and play music." And the fisherman nodded. He said, "Interesting." And he looked slightly confused at the businessman. He said, "Isn't that what I'm doing now?" So I love this story because personally it struck a chord with me this week, because I think this experience of, lockdown, COVID-19, the coronavirus, this whole experience that the world has gone through, and everybody has felt it in different ways, no doubt. So I'm not going to talk about all different perspectives, just my own and some people that I've interacted with. It's been interesting and quite insightful that most people are saying that the life they're living now, maybe working part-time from home or completely from home, enjoying the simple stuff a little bit more, having the ideal day that they've always thought they had to work all their life for, has been happening for some people I know in the last while. And maybe some of you listening have experienced that. And this might strike a chord with you, or it might resonate with you. And sometimes we're looking for the big goal, the next thing, or when I've worked and succeeded, then I can retire and enjoy life. But maybe we're putting off something that we could really be experiencing right now with the work we're doing and the lifestyle we have. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to those simple things: friends, family, fun, good food. Taking a nap in the middle of the day and playing music and having a beer in the evening sounds pretty good to me if you've made enough to get by and you're happy with that. So look at your own life maybe and have a think about it. What are you doing that really doesn't make your heart sing and doesn't fill you with joy, that you don't need to do? Because I understand we need to work, we need to make a living, we need to, provide food and shelter and all of the basic needs. But after that, what are we actually striving for? Do we already have elements of it, and maybe we should appreciate it more, like the fisherman? Maybe just have a little bit more balance in our fisherman businessman mind. So I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope you take this life lesson into the week ahead. As always, here at Minister for Happiness, we're looking to help spread some health and a little bit more happiness in everyone's lives. So please do like and share this story. You never know who it might really affect. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll get these stories every Sunday. And until next week, have an absolutely super weekend, super Sunday, or super Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever day you're watching this. Until next week, stay healthy and most importantly, stay happy. Thanks, bye.